I never believed in love stories. Not the kind you see in movies. Not the kind where two people lock eyes across a crowded room. And definitely not the kind where everything just magically works out. Because my life had never been magical. It had been heavy, lonely, and painfully ordinary. I was 27 years old, working a job I didn't love, living in a tiny apartment that felt more like a box than a home. Most days I came back from work, dropped my bag on the floor, and sat in silence. No one called. No one asked how I was. And slowly I got used to that. I told myself I didn't need love. That love was complicated, messy, temporary. But deep down, I knew the truth. I wasn't strong. I was just tired of being disappointed. Everything changed on a rainy Tuesday evening. I remember that day clearly, because nothing about it was special. My car had broken down, my phone battery was almost dead, and the rain was pouring so hard, it felt like the sky was angry. I was standing at a bus stop, completely soaked, frustrated and exhausted. And that's when I saw him. He was sitting on the bench, holding an umbrella and feeding small pieces of bread to a stray dog. I noticed how gently he spoke to the animal, like the dog mattered, like it wasn't invisible, like it wasn't unwanted, just like me. When he looked up, he smiled, not the forced kind of smile people give strangers, but a warm, quiet smile, like he genuinely saw me. He moved his umbrella slightly and said, "You can stand here if you want. The rain isn't stopping anytime soon." I hesitated, because I didn't trust kindness easily, but something about his voice felt safe. So I stepped closer. We didn't talk much at first, just small things. The weather, the broken buses, the ridiculous traffic. But somehow, those small words felt bigger, comforting, like a conversation between two people who understood loneliness without needing to explain it. When the bus finally arrived, it was overcrowded. There was only one empty seat. He looked at me and said, "You should sit." I told him no. He insisted, and when I finally sat down, I realized something strange. He chose to stand next to me the entire ride, holding onto the rail, just so I wouldn't feel alone. That night, for the first time in years, I didn't feel invisible. Days later, I saw him again. Same bus stop, same quiet smile, same stray dog. We started talking more. Not about big things, just little details, favorite foods, childhood memories, things that made us laugh. And slowly, I realized something. He wasn't trying to impress me. He wasn't pretending to be perfect. He was just real. One evening, I asked him a question. "Why do you always feed that dog?" He paused for a moment, then said, "Because I know what it feels like to be ignored." I looked at him, confused, and he continued, "I grew up in foster homes. I spent most of my life feeling unwanted. So whenever I see something that looks alone, I try to be kind to it." In that moment, my heart cracked open, because I understood him completely. We weren't two perfect people. We were two broken people who recognized each other's pain. Months passed. We started spending more time together, walking home after work, sharing cheap meals, laughing about silly things. And slowly, without realizing it, my loneliness began to disappear. One night, as we sat on that same bus stop bench, he said something I'll never forget. He looked at me and said, "You know, I never believed I deserved love." Then he smiled softly, "But you make me feel like I do." Tears filled my eyes, because for the first time in my life, I felt the same way. Love didn't come to me in a perfect moment. It didn't arrive with grand gestures or dramatic confessions. It came quietly, on a rainy day, at a bus stop, through small acts of kindness, through patience, through understanding. And that's when I learned something important. Love doesn't always find you when you're happy, or confident, or ready. Sometimes, love finds you when you're tired, when you're hurting, when you've almost given up. Because sometimes, the most unexpected places hold the most beautiful beginnings. So if you're listening to this right now, and you feel alone, please remember this. Your story isn't over yet. Your love story might just be waiting in the place you least expect.